Hey guys, welcome back to the video vault. I hope everyone is doing really well. It is, of course, the Easter weekend, so I hope you're doing whatever, just chilling, relaxing, watching some really cool movies. Yeah, awesome. Anyway, so last week I did the review for the movie Scream. I'm on an R and now. Do I choose another movie from 1996, or do I choose another movie from a different era, different decade? Do I do the 70s, 80s, 30s, whatever's? Or do I just decide, why don't I just do like the series chronologically? So we start with Scream 1, go all the way through to Scream 4, which is the latest, and do the next with whatever else and whatever else and whatever else. And I sort of figured that that was actually probably the best thing to do. So want to bring something up as well. I had a buddy of mine, Nims, from Grey Wolf Entertainment. He's got a wrestling podcast on there. Make sure you check it out. Grey Wolf Wrestling. It is a really awesome podcast. He sort of asked me, how come, you didn't use the cowbell? And I always love getting these sorts of questions. Even it doesn't matter if they're from my buddies or, one of you subscribers or whatever. It's like, wanting to know, like, how come, how come you're not using the cowbell all the time? Okay, I'm going to stick with the terms of wrestling because what we're talking about, Grey Wolf Wrestling Podcast. Think of the cowbell as, say, Brock Lesnar. Not there all the time, but when it is there, it's epic. Maybe on a smaller scale because it's only a cowbell, but yeah, sort of utilize that way. If you overuse it too much, it becomes like John Cena and you get sick of it. Sorry, Nettie. But yeah, you use it sparingly like they do with Brock Lesnar or Goldberg or The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin or whoever. It just makes it more special and more fitting because the what's in the box is the only thing that I've got. So that little intro jingle for. I don't have anything for the video vault. But what I do have for the video vault is movies. Yes, I have tons and tons of movies in the vault. I've also got tons that I've got queued up on my Netflix, on my Stan, on Apple and whatever else. I got movies coming out of my ears. So anyway, gone off topic, going back onto topic now. Scream 2 is this week. As you can see, this is was bought at a secondhand store from somewhere. I got it off eBay for about $5. Yeah. So comes out in 1997. It is, of course, once again written by Kevin Williamson and directed by the late great Wes Craven, R.I.P. So we go a couple of years forward into the timeline. We've got Sydney Prescott. She's now in college. We've got the movie Stab, which is based on Gail Weathers' best-selling book, The Woodsboro Murders, which covers everything from the first movie. Start off in the movie theater. We got people going to see the movie where the couple sort of like, I don't like horror movies, they're scary. Why don't we go see Sandra Bullock? And they have a little tete-a-tete, which is, hey, cool. It's like, it's what couples do. They're sort of like, everyone likes different things. Okay, I like horror movies, scary stuff, heavy metal. My partner April, she does not, which is fine. It's all good. Trust me, dig what you dig. And so, like, they go to the cinema. It's a sneak peek based on the Woodsboro Murders book, as I said, and it kind of highlights a few of the cliches that sort of happen in a lot of horror movies. Like, there's one scene, like, it starts off, you get the typical shower scene. It's like, it gets pointed at, why is this chick naked? It may not serve much for the plot, but in a sense, it's vulnerability. When you're in a situation where you're not very familiar with, the terminology is that you feel naked. Not literally, or in this case, literally, with the shower scenes, but figuratively, when you're out of your element, you feel naked. So that's sort of my interpretation of why they have that sort of stuff happen. Sometimes. A lot of the other times it's just, let's just get some flesh out. So what? Who cares? But there's still that sort of vulnerability factor to it. So, of course, the couple, they get killed off. We'll get to a little bit of reasoning as to what happens there, especially with the names a little bit later on. So we flash to Sidney Prescott, who, of course, is now at Windsor College. And, they get the prank calls. Yeah, what's your favorite scary movie? Caller ID is a good thing at this point in time, people. Sweet coffee, And, of course, word's getting around that, Maureen Evans and Randall Stevens had been, murdered at this stab premiere. So our final girl from the original Scream, she goes and tracks down my favorite character, because I've had a few people say that I'm kind of like this guy is Randy, once again played by Jamie Kennedy, and they're in this whole film discussion group at the minute. They're going through like sequels and how at times sequels can suck. There's inferior films, and we've got Sarah Michelle Gellar in there as Casey Cooper. Sorry, she's riding pretty high on Buffy fame at the minute, so that's probably why she's in there. You got the one of the dudes from Dawson's Creek, Joshua Jacobs. Is that the guy? Let me know down in the comments. Look, this whole movie is perfectly cast. So they have the sequel discussion. Randy's sort of blown it off, like, no, it's not. It's not this. It's not that. We see also the return of Gale Weathers, who, once again, portrayed by Courtney Cox, who's had this massive character. If you watch the very last, say, half an hour of Scream 1, has had this massive character shift from, being out for herself and trying to get dirt and whatever else to, being more caring of how others, are. And so there's that character, there's that massive character development. We also see Dewey, once again, portrayed by David Arquette. He's back. He's still his goofy, sort of clumsy self, but it eases a lot of tensions, and that, especially like in a horror movie, you've got to have some of those characters in there, because it just makes it. I don't want to say so much better, but it just kind of lightens some of the moods a little bit, which is usually always a good thing if it's done right. In this movie, it is. We also have Liev Schreiber. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, especially his last name. He's absolutely smashes it as Cotton Weary. He's trying so hard to get this, Diane, to get this interview, and everything with Sydney, just to clear the air about everything that happened. And it's kind of a continuing story in this movie. Again, you got Rebecca Gayheart, you got Portia de Rossi in there. They're playing the sorority sisters. And so we go through the entire college campus. This is basically this film just basically done in a college or a university. And so there's a huge party that goes on as always. CC Cooper is the next one who gets knocked off again. Sarah Michelle Gellar she was good, she was good in this. Similar to Drew Barrymore in the first one, even though she's a big name and she's only in it for a short amount of time, that sort of gets people grabs people's attention. I'm not sure if that's in focus, but there you go. Sarah Michelle Gellar may not be on the cover, unfortunately, but still. Of course, big name again, riding high. Season 1 of Buffy is at this time, and it's just taken off. And that's when we start to get the whole copycat sort of thing start to fall into place. This person's copying what happened in Woodsboro. It gets pieced together. Maureen Evans, Maureen Prescott, Randall Stevens, Stephen Orth, the boyfriend of Casey Becker, and of course Casey Cooper, going back to that previous point. Casey Becker, who was the first girl murdered in the first Scream, once again portrayed by Drew Barrymore. So we're starting to get, okay, so it's someone who's copycatting Woodsboro, and it's like, but who is it? This is, again, the one, I said this in the first video. I should have also said this at the start of this video as well. If you have not seen this movie, stop this video right now, watch the movie, come back, because there's spoilers galore. Spoilers galore. Watch the movie. I know I've already given away half of it. I'm not giving away the ending. Go watch the movie, then come back. So it's like, well, who is it? Of course, cell phones have become more and more a thing these days. Everyone's starting to get them. It's like 1997. So you got Dewey, Randy, and Gail. They're like having this discussion, like trying to figure out who it is. They get the phone call. Look at you. You look deep in thought. You get the whole ghost face thing. They're trying to track down who it is. And unfortunately for Randy, he gets gutted. He's done in the series. He agitates the killer to an extent where they just grab him from behind, drag him into a van, and stabby. Goodbye, Randy. Kind of, sad that's the way it went down, but kind of fitting, really, because Randy in the previous movie as well sort of has this thing of like, maybe he's got a sense on who the killer might be. Like we go back to when he's in the video store with Billy and Stu in the first movie. It's like he points the finger at Billy Loomis and says to Stu, you tell me that's not a killer. So he sort of already thought, hang on, maybe it's this guy. The same thing happens again in this one where he and Dewey are sitting around like trying to decipher like who it could be. One of the names that he brings up is Mickey, the film student that he has the sequel discussion with. But then of course it's like, well then if he's a suspect, I'm a suspect, and then then you're a suspect sort of thing. Almost like everyone's a suspect scene, but it's well done. This movie is well written, it is well directed, again, a great cast. So Sid's now under protective, got police protection. They're in the library, threatening AOL messages and all that. She bumps into Cotton Weary. I have a little bit of a heated exchange. He's taken away and questioned in by police. Sorry, you don't get questioned in police. But again, so the kills keep happening, and we get to probably the only cringe scene. This is the only cringe scene. Everything else in the movie I absolutely love watching, but this is when they're in the cafeteria, and we have Jerry O'Connell's character of Derek. He gets up on the table and starts to sing. Now, nothing against Jerry O'Connell. Nothing against him. He was big in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, I think it was Sliders and a few other bits and pieces that he was sort of in. It was pretty much everywhere in the 90s. But that scene just makes me cringe. It does. And it's the only one. It's the only scene that does. So they found Randy. The cameraman Joel, he drops off his bag of tapes. Both Gail and Dewey, they have a look through footage. They have a little bit of a make-out moment. And and ignore that clap. Of course, there's the killer, chases them through the school of film, and oh, hello. Look who wants to make a cameo. Such a good dog, isn't he? Nope. Coffee's not for you. Coffee's not for you. You're hyper enough already. And, where was I? Oh, yeah. And just chases them through, and of course attacks Dewey. Oh no, Dewey's gone, he's dead. Or is he? Remember that. So there's this huge scene where Sydney and her friend Haley are taken away by the police to try to get them into protective custody. The killer shows up, slits the throat of one, but the second one, he has probably one of the best kills in this whole movie. He is clinging on to the windshield of the car. He's trying to get his gun out so he can shoot he's laying on the hood, trying to get his gun out so he can shoot the killer, who just rams into a bit of construction equipment, and this metal pipe just goes straight through the guy's skull. It is probably one of the best kills in the whole movie. The rest of them are like, just stab, slit, and a couple of gunshot. I'm not saying like the movie's bad and the kills are bad, but that is the best kill of the whole movie. And especially like the twitching sort of just sells it. Very, very much so. So Sydney runs to the auditorium to try to get away to safety, and she's tracked down by the killer, who is... It's Mickey, the film student that Randy, has a bit of back and forth with about sequels and whatnot. So again, it's not something you see coming too much. You just think, oh, yeah, he's just another student. He's not a main character like, say Billy Loomis and Stu Mecca were in the first movie. He's just sort of like, he's a secondary character. You don't think too much of it. And then, what's that dog got? Never mind. And then we get the surprise twist of there's a second killer. Oh, this is probably where M. Night Shyamalan got his big thing about twists and everything. He's like, what a twist! We have the reporter of Debbie Salt, also otherwise known as Debbie Loomis, Billy Loomis's mother from the first one. And she's just pretty much out for good old-fashioned revenge is basically her motive in the whole thing. So as a bit of scuffle, Mickey gets put down by Debbie. He's like, oh, there's not going to be a trial. Boom, boom. He's down for the count. Or is he? Enter Leah Schreiber, enter Cotton Weary. There's this really wonderfully built up tense moment where Debbie has Sydney, has the knife to her throat, standing right behind her, sort of like Comanche style, just saying, just kill her, she sent you away to prison for a year, and, just, this is your chance to get some retribution and payback as well. And it just builds up that suspense so well. It's like, just sort of like, oh, I guess, that interview, that TV interview is looking really good right about now, isn't it? Like, this is, how your fate is decided. Again, going back to that point, there's sort of been that running commentary throughout, like he's wanting to get this TV interview with Sydney so they can, air everything, get everything out in the open and settle the differences and whatnot. And it just, the tension just builds and builds and builds, and then Sydney just utters, consider it done. Bang, Debbie gets a shot to the throat, and she is down for the 3-second tan. She's out, she's done. Which is followed by a great line from Leah Schreiber that's like, that was intense. Gail pops up, so they're all standing around having a great little, so like similar to the ending of the first one where you had, it's a little, actually I sort of think it's a little tip of the hat to the ending of the first one where you had Sydney, Gail and Randy, but now you've got Sydney, Gail and Cotton because unfortunately Randy was killed off. Boo. But then, of course, Mickey being this is the, just be careful, the killer always comes back. And, of course, Mickey pops back up, bang, bang, they put him down again. Sydney just fires one into Debbie's head just to make sure that, just in case she does come back to sort of finish it off. And that is it for Scream 2. Again, I absolutely love this movie. There's just that one cringe part, but apart from that, that is it. It's just so good to watch. Actually, all the Scream movies. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Scream 4. I like it because it's a good modern twist to it. Like, you've got the use of the webcams, you've got the use of the podcast, you've got all this media that is around now that was not around 20 years ago. Definitely go watch this movie. It's so easy to actually sit down and watch all 4 Scream movies back to back to back to back. It is that easy to do because there's nothing really dull about them. They're just fun. Yes, sometimes the scares can be a little bit obvious, but then like the way that, especially Wes Craven as a director is known for building suspense. He's known for how to build that suspense up. You look at A Nightmare on Elm Street, you look at Last House on the Left, you look at Wes Craven's New Nightmare, you look at Wishmaster, anything that Wes Craven has done, he just knows how to build suspense and just keep you on the edge all the time. That is why he's one of the best directors, as I've said, for horror. But yeah, definitely Scream 2, go and check it out. It's a lot of fun to watch. I strongly recommend it. Hey, next week is going to be Scream 3, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. If you like it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, you hit that subscribe, and you ding that notification cowbell. For any other reviews you want to look at, I will put links up here, and maybe one there. Also, the links to my socials will be down in the description box below, and I shall see you all next time.